Consistent Moms. I'm Mom, aka Sandra, and these are my daughters, Candace and Alyssa, and these are my daughter-in-laws, Brooks and Felisha. And we want to welcome you to our online community of women, where we meet every week to discuss topics that we all like. And we are finishing today of season 3. So if you haven't caught up, go catch up. Today, our moderator is Candace, and what are we talking about?
Finding your passion. Passion. So I want to start off with passionate. What is passion?
What is passion,
and how do you find it?
Okay.
Are you paying attention? Something that excites you, or is it something that fulfills you? And are you staying open and curious for other interests? So my question is, what is your passion? How do you actually find it? And it's broad, but take steps. Maybe have a passion. Maybe have passions that they're like they know of. Some people haven't even found their passion.
Right.
So, what are some
you
key
passionate
about?
And it might be different for
everybody.
Different areas of your life.
Very
Maybe
true.
at work you're passionate about something, or your job is what you're passionate about, or something in your family life, something in your marriage, your hobby.
I'll start my passion.
You start
Because I'm just now finding it, guys.
Oh, okay.
I know. Now I have a couple. Now, there's the things between hobbies, and it could become a passion for you. Like my hobby, I do like taking photography. I haven't touched my camera in about 5 years, but I do love photos. I like taking them. Everyone in my family knows it. I am like the photo queen.
Right. I'm always Candace. Are we getting all these photos?
Love photos only because my memory is so bad. I have to take the photos so I remember the moments, and people laugh at me. But if that's going to help me, why not? But I love photography.
Love looking back at the pictures.
Oh, I love it, and I love just people's techniques and skills. So I have a lot of photographer friends, and I feel like I love to direct photo shoots too. Like I've directed. Pretty much engagement shoots. I mean, family photos we've all had. I'm directing. I love directing photos, and it's one of it's a hobby of mine. I love it. But I'm also now coming into passion of growing vegetables in my garden. And I have told Colby, I'm learning. I'm still in trial and error. I do the University of YouTube a lot and learning and baking and stuff. But I think my garden is really my passion, because my goal is, and I think your passion could turn into a goal. And that's the point of having a passion, because you get really excited, is I would love to have a garden. And I'm doing the hydroponics. If you know anything about our aeroponics, we're doing both, and they're doing great. I want to have enough food that I could supply my family with food without having to go to the grocery store. It's healthy for you. It helps your body. But I would love, obviously, to bless my family members with food. And then I want to expand
Send me stuff
and
all
then
the time.
expand more. I would love to give people who need food, instead of just doing the grocery store running and spending on it, and to have enough abundance of vegetables stuff to bless other people. And I would love my neighbors. I must have given some people celery and stuff, but that I would love. And I have just starting my greenhouse and had to get the foundation, because building on a foundation, and we could go into all that about just how your greenhouse becomes to who you are. So that has been my passion. I've been doing it. They say keep it a routine. I've been on my weekends, I kind of go out there and I, see the garden, but I'm learning, and that's, I think, finding it.
But you're enjoying the
and
learning.
I'm very much so.
And so when you enjoy learning about something, that is something you're passionate about. And I think that it's okay that your passion changes. You might have something that you really, really love to do, but then over time you've done that and you're like, okay, you asked this earlier, is your mind open to other things? So like, okay, then I'm like, well, I like that still, but I really am interested in doing this.
Can it be seasonal passion? Can you guys do seasonal?
Maybe.
100%. I think for me, like everyone knew growing up that I did theater. Like that was something I was incredibly passionate about. As an adult, I have zero desire to go do a production.
You don't want to be the lead in a
not even a little bit. No, but now I have, new passions. I think that consistently music has always been a passion. Candace was talking about like paying attention to your life. That's something that I have a talent in. And so I've always enjoyed it. There has for sure been seasons where I've hated it. I studied it in college and that
was not as fun.
No. And I think if you've ever taken a passion and you have to then use that through college or goes through something strict, you do start to find that it becomes maybe a little, it's just different. It's mundane, but it's also just different. I think often about like maybe even pastors or people who own businesses or do stuff that once was exciting and a joy, and now it's just you think of it a little bit differently. So I definitely walked through a season where music was not something I wanted to really do for that season.
Yeah.
And then now I'm blessed to be able to do it at church every single week. And that is definitely a passion of mine. Now, as a mom, I have a very different new passion. We started homeschooling this year, and it has become this weird, super fun.
Because the girls love it.
Yes. Well, and even before,
makes it easy when they like it.
Girls. All of July prepping, I text Flea one day, she was dying laughing. I said, I don't know how to explain to my kids to go be on their own so that I can prep the things we're going to do intentionally together. But it was so fun. That's definitely become a new passion of mine.
Money we spent on buying curriculum from Etsy when we already had curriculum from The Good and the Beautiful. And Alyssa and I are we just want to do it all.
Yeah, we're in a Google Drive together. Look what I bought today from Etsy. You can also download it.
You're in the honeymoon phase.
That's very true. Oh my gosh, that's such a good way to put that.
I think that's okay. It's kind of with Candace and gardening. Right now it's super fun and exciting, but at some point when you do this X amount of years in the line, it's going to be a hot summer that you're out there and you're tending weeds.
Because you've been doing gardening this year too. So I laugh at the two of y'all because I've done that. So I'm like, y'all go ahead and grow them tomatoes and bring them to me. But it's something that you enjoy doing, and that's great.
It's
and that warms my heart because you want to be outside and doing something that's plantish, which I love.
Like we were saying, that could just be a seasonal thing for right now, or it could be something that we like doing forever, and that's cool too.
Right.
Or a passion could just be a hobby. I think about, I love to decorate.
Yeah.
Mom and I both love to decorate. We tried a decorating event business. We both realized we hated doing it for other people.
Yeah.
Not in the selfish way, but this isn't as fun as decorating my home.
Yeah. Or someone else's home that is hey, come help me decorate my home kind of thing.
Because they put the constrictions on it too.
Right.
Yeah. That
they don't listen.
Well, then it goes back to what we were saying before. Sometimes when you take that passion and you start a business or you do something that now you're having to think through the minute details of it, it can strip some of that passion away from you. So it is kind of deciding
or you're having to do it ours was weekends. And then that's when you're
this is not for me, or maybe it's deciding
like my weekends.
For me, how do I shift this back around so that I do find joy in this again?
Yes, I'm still waiting for my
business and just decorating our homes.
Decorating my house, and from that we have a lot of great stuff.
Yes, we do.
100%.
That is my favorite thing. Where I'm it'll look good. That's at the studio. Yeah. I'll go grab that from my house.
Every birthday. I feel like party. Our Instagram and stuff must look ridiculous if you look at any of our personal ones, that we just throw all these extravagant birthday parties. It's because we own it all. It's already in there. We drive up, we load the car, we just go set it up, and we bring it back. I honestly
forget some of the stuff we bought, and when we're back in the storage area, I'm like, oh yeah, we bought that.
I think it was
I need that at
Bella's
my house.
birthday. We set up a whole thing. I said I bought one thing for that entire party. Everything
and that
else
party
we
was
had.
adorable.
Yeah.
So cute.
Yeah, the great thing of having a passion of doing that. So
I think for me, I had a huge passion for children's ministry. I came out of high school. That's what I wanted to do. I went to college for it. I did the whole thing. I loved it. And then I did it for so many years that it all of a sudden just became, like you said, this mundane, and I had to take that step back because I wasn't able to pour out what was needed.
When there's no more joy, then it's time to move on.
And so I think now I'm in that season of trying to re-find a passion of hey, what is it? What is it that brings me joy? The funny thing right now is just being a sports mom.
Right.
Yeah, fun.
I am the snack queen.
Oh my gosh. Her snacks are so cute, and the bags they're in. I'm like Brooks, you're overdoing it, I feel. She goes,
but I love
it. But it's so just awesome. Be on the same team. That just sounds amazing.
I know. Yeah. But I do. But that's the thing. I love to organize that and have that camaraderie with those, parents and do that kind of thing. And that's kind of become where I've poured a lot into.
But I think too, we have to be very careful, especially as moms and wives, is we don't let their things become our true passion. You still have to, because after a while you'll come to a point in your life as you get older,
Where'd they go?
Well, what about me? Or they all move away. And then you're like, well, so what about me?
So that comes to my next question.
Okay.
Ooh, well, let me tell you, ladies. Thanks for setting me up. I love that.
You're very welcome.
Now, my thing is, then do you keep your passion to yourself, which is, do solo endeavors and it's totally valid, or do you want to share it with other people? Because maybe they have something, or maybe they have something to add to it, as such as when y'all did it. Like, do you feel like, or I always say, not like partners, well, someone can open the door or a window for you for your passion.
I don't think you should keep. I think sometimes I don't think keeping it to yourself is something that you have to do. Certainly, you would want, if someone knows you well enough, if they're a friend or a family member, I would think they would know things. I could go around and we could all say what each one of us loves, things that we like to do. We would know that. So, I don't think you should keep it to yourself because, like you said, you don't know who might be able to add to that
but then like you said a minute ago, you want to be careful because what if they don't add the good things?
Well, no, I was saying like as a mom, where Brooks's passion at this moment is she's loving being the sports mom. Well, that's great, but that's part of being a mom, really. You want to find something for yourself. We talk about self-care, something that's for you. Because as a mom, I can tell you from doing that, it is all about being the mom, being the wife, being the mom, being the wife, being the mom, being the wife, and then they leave you. And you're standing there going, I mean, it was easy when you left first. It wasn't easy, but I still had 3 more to worry about.
There you go.
Then Brandon left, and I had 2 more to worry about. Then Trevor left, and I had 1 more to worry about. She left, and I literally remember dropping her at college, driving back. Dad could not go with us. And I can remember that. I can cry about it now to this very day, and that's how many years ago. The gut of when I walked in my kitchen, I literally collapsed on the floor because it was like you had died because I had no more children to take care of. And Flip's already crying.
Please said no.
And then she starts writing books and finds other passions, hopefully.
It was gut-wrenching. Yeah. And I literally thought I physically could not stand up because my whole life had, since I was in my 20s, because, I was very young when I had children, my whole life was all about my kids and my family and being that and doing that. So I'm just telling you all, find something in your life that's still very passionate to you. Yeah.
What makes you
those are great joys, and I would not trade those because I was the sports mom and all that stuff. I wouldn't trade any of them. My kids were always in stuff. My parents would always say, y'all are doing too much, but we loved doing it. But I don't think I honestly could look back and tell you a passion that I personally had for myself that was not involving my husband or my children.
Yeah. I'm learning that there's byproducts that come from our passion. So I'm starting to find we've been talking a lot about self-care this season. So I'm finding when I take care of myself and that's become I'm running, I truly enjoy that. Right now that's becoming my passion. But because I'm doing that, I'm more pleasant at home, it's a byproduct.
No,
I'm not
it excites you.
Yeah, exactly. And so I think our passions bring byproducts that help other people in ways.
That's true.
There's
I agree.
A book that I read called Hunt, Gather, Parent, and she has this idea that I love the thought of. And her thing is, when your kids are young, picking things for them to do that involves everybody. So her thing is that he doesn't go to Taekwondo and she goes to ballet, and then him and I have a couples night. And then her thing is, what can we do that all of us are being involved together during this season? So for you, maybe that really is you and Brandon just love being a part of that culture. That Dale's family was like that. They still do baseball with their last son. That is the culture that he grew up in because his parents found joy as a couple together there. His dad coached, his mom's there doing the score. That's their thing. So I think as important as the self-care side is, to Mom's point of not getting lost in the height of motherhood, is kind of taking those moments of, hey, are we being spread too thin, trying to make sure everybody has their own kind of thing that they're doing? Is there something that we can do across
together?
The board together?
And we are a busyness society. We've talked about this on a previous podcast. We almost wear as badge of honors of how busy we are.
Yeah.
When in all honesty, that's not a great thing. If you ask Dad this very day what his passion is, what is he going to tell you? Work. But that's truly not a passion. He loves to work and he'll work till the day he dies, but that's not a passion. You really need to find
maybe he has to find some other kind of thing he likes
outside of that he truly enjoys. Thank God he's loving cruising with me a lot.
That's insane.
So,
It could be,
that's the era that we're in. And I'm loving that he's taking that time and being like, okay, we will go on a cruise for a second time.
Well, I think that's what's so important about what we were saying about seasonal passions is that for you, yours were your kids, and then you had to kind of switch that perspective to where you guys are now. I think it's important to know, like, the passions that we all have right now, there's a good chance that when we don't have kids in the house, that when it's going to look different. And
it does look different.
I think you have to prepare yourself, though.
It does look different. And you, as a mom, do feel lost. You don't know what you're going to do now.
Do you think if you had had a different passion in that moment when Alyssa was the last one to leave, that would have helped you through that season?
Like if you found it earlier,
maybe just that I had something to fall back on, that it wasn't about what do I do, because I didn't know what I was going to do. Like I have nowhere to shuttle someone.
Yeah,
I did.
You got a dog,
and she took me out on lunch dates.
I got Kiki. That's right.
She got things to do.
And I think
because I needed somebody to take care of, and that was the neediest dog in the world.
Let's talk about seasonal things. You needed that dog at season of time of your life desperately, and then you guys gave her to our grandmother who needed
and she's still with Nanny.
Yeah. So I think that there are times that is okay too. Like that's just
yes.
But
you
definitely got a dog.
I did because that's the truth. Because I needed
both a dog and a cat.
I needed somebody to take care of.
Yeah.
And as a mom, that's what we know to do: take care of. So try to just find. Doesn't mean you have to go out every day and do this. Just try to find something as a mom that
you need a dog,
or maybe you don't.
Just like you're saying, even just for a few hours, try to find a passion of yours. I don't care if it's like you're passionate about like writing a book and that's what you want to do, or you know what, sometimes you just want to sit down and relax and you like writing too, so don't get me started on that, Missy.
So do whatever it is,
and blogging and stuff like that. You like doing that because it's reaching out to people who are like yourself. So just taking a few hours, a daily ritual. What are some steps to take to keep your passion alive, other than the joy? But what can, like, if you get that rundown moment, you're like, oh, but I am passionate about this. I do love this, and I don't want to give it up. Or in a season where you're like, nope, like helping people and doing stuff. You keep doing that. You keep doing that. But what keeps that alive?
I think sometimes we go back to the busyness. We don't give ourselves permission to take a break.
True.
We think if we're not go, do, do until we drop into the bed, we're not accomplishing anything. And so that, I really wish we were not a society who felt that way. I'm moving to Italy for
but I do feel like it's okay to lose the passion if it needs to be gone.
Maybe that season is gone.
True.
It's totally fine.
But maybe you just need a moment to re-educate yourself.
Fresh eyes.
Or just a break. Just a break.
Relearn something new about, like, say it was painting, because I know you like to do art and paint. Go online, YouTube University, and discover a new way to do something you were doing.
Haven't done that in a while. I do love doing that.
Well, think about, like, we have Trev and I planted the church, like our passion since we started dating. We wrote in a journal and it said, build a church. And that has been like our passion. And then over the years, we've been married coming up on 6 years. And over the years, we started the church 2.5 years ago. And now we're in that reset of everything right now. It's still our passion, but it's like
you start realizing that is not the number one thing in your life. Your family time, your things about yourself. We've got to give ourselves permission to be okay to do something for ourselves that nobody else benefits but us. And we don't always think that that's okay. It's got to benefit our child or our husband or somebody else in the church or whatever. Or it's okay to do something that just benefits you. That's totally all right.
But it's like relearning it. I think your question was like, how do you like
keep it alive?
Keep it alive. And I think it's like relearning. Okay.
Relearning it.
This is like going back
start
to
back the basics.
Start back from the very beginning. Like, okay, what did I do last time and what should I do moving forward? Maybe that's good. Got me into this position.
And I think dreaming, like that's part of it. What you guys are doing right now this season is so important. Like Mom was saying, taking a step back from it and being like, it doesn't mean that
take a break,
not happening that anything is closing, but like how are there an opportunity for you guys to step back and then vision cast like that.
That's
to
a
me
great
is
idea.
The biggest thing is like when you are passionate about something and you're just in the thick of it day after day after day, there's something about like a stop and taking a step back and going, okay, what can be different and better and greater? Where do we see ourselves? It's like the age-old question. Where are we going to be in 5 years? Where are we going to be in 10 years? Right. So then what are practical steps along the way? And I think once you start having that dialogue, maybe it's just with your spouse about your garden. Like it could be about...
Poor Colby. Look at the cucumber.
Listen to me. I love that. Like
so
this
like
past
that.
spring, there were some greats and there were some fails.
Very much so.
That's life.
To like sit back and be like, okay, but here's what I'm going to do differently next year. And like you start having that stuff. So it can be as small as your little vegetable garden or as big as we put everything into this. But taking those moments where you're like, okay, no, we're going to take a step back and then we're just going to start to dream and vision about what this is. Because I'm sure you guys experienced this. I know that I experienced it like with music as well, graduating. There's a moment where like passion becomes just so like monotonous, like you're just in it and
just
you're doing the same
motions.
thing and you're just trying to like dredge through whatever it is. So having that moment where you're like, okay, well, let me dream again, like allowing the space
the rest.
to dream again is huge.
Take a break.
Into what you said is like, it doesn't have to always, your passion doesn't always have to become like a business.
Right.
So like we talk about passion and immediately I think that our society in the US is like, oh, how can we make money with it?
Right.
How can we promote ourselves?
Some things
how can
are
we
not
grow
going to be
this?
about money.
Like, no, like find legit joy.
Yeah.
And that's what
key
it is.
right there.
Yeah.
You know?
What are the steps? If you haven't found your passion, like, I don't know what it is.
What do you like?
Also, what do you like? Have your friends say, when you look at me, what do you see?
What gives you joy?
What gives you joy? What gives you, like what makes that inside like that bothers me? Then fix it. Maybe that's your thing. Maybe that's your passion. Like you're going to fix that in today's society to be better. So we got our passion. And it says, my last question is, how can someone overcome the fear or self-doubt when it comes to taking the steps to pursue the passion, especially involving significant changes or risk? Like, like jumping off the cliff. Are you going to like flee? I know, like, should we do it? Should we? How do you?
I actually did a little post about this on Instagram today of talking about when we'll go back to plants because everybody knows I'm the plant queen. So if that first time I was not born with this great ability to grow things. My mother, my grandmother, my great grandmother, absolutely. But I was not one. But I wanted the plants. I wanted this beautiful yard. I wanted all this thing. So what did I have to do? I had to go buy the first plant. And so
the death.
Did it die? Probably. And so then you're like, okay, I'm never going to do this again. Right. You can't you have to figure it out. And for me, it was reading books, buying magazines that had to do with it. We always talk about the YouTube University is what we love to call it. I went and searched it out. How do I do it? I still do that to this day when I want to know how to do something. So go out there and don't be afraid to fail. Because if you don't, we did a whole episode about this, don't be afraid to fail, because when you become afraid to fail, you're never going to take a step forward. But you just said this too, every time you make a mistake, you learn from that. What did I need to do differently with this? Exactly. And so that's how you grow, and that's how you do it. And then if you need to take a step back, and statistics tell us that you produce better at work when you take true vacation time. Mm-hmm. At work, I am a huge advocate of they must take vacation every year. It's not an option. They're not allowed to just kind of work and kind of, no, you've got to. Why? Because your brain needs to reset. And I've had to prove that to Dad years ago. Yeah. We're going to go, you're not going to talk on the phone, you're not going to work, you're going to reset your brain. And he would start realizing every time she makes me take a vacation, I come back ready, refreshed. So okay, take a break from your passion and just see, is this something to shelve for a while? Or is this something that maybe you're ready to move on to something else?
I would say too, like, just do it. I mean, I think about when Dale and I, before we moved home, a huge passion of ours was we were going to buy a travel trailer and travel the U.S. for a year. That didn't happen. Right. But we spent a ton of time looking at literally going and touring travel trailers, looking up how to renovate it the way we wanted to. I did almost half of the U.S. of exactly where we were going to stop. Like we would, but it was the journey of us just talking about it and dreaming about it. That didn't necessarily happen. Mom had cancer, I got pregnant, we moved home. Like that's the dream that ended up happening. But for us, I don't think either one of us look back on that season of our life and go, oh my gosh, like,
I should have never done that.
Yeah, how stupid, we told people we were going to do that and we didn't. Yeah. Like, so what? We had so much fun doing that. We now have new dreams and passions that we talk about. And I hope that does come and happen. But if not, oh my gosh, we have fun talking about it and watching YouTube videos. As
a couple, as you should be dream building. Yeah, you should dream about the big dreams you don't think you'll ever accomplish. Just dream about it, and then dream about it.
Because that kind of stuff is, it's like, what's the worst going to happen? We told both of our families we were going to do it, and we didn't.
Right?
Yeah. Like both of us are like, okay, cool. We had a lot of fun planning.
You love those weekends that you went and saw the travel trailers and the
now
designing.
When we're driving and we see one, we're like, oh, and that's an Imagine. Do you remember touring that? Like, we have that.
I love that.
Yeah,
I love it.
Do it anyway.
Yeah.
Definitely. I have a shirt that says "Do it tired." And that's one of my favorite shirts to wear when I'm like having a moment, and it's like, all right, but it's the same idea. Do it anyway. Do it tired. Just go for it.
Just do it.
Go for it. I love it.
Yeah. Dive in.
As my cup says, start somewhere.
Just start. I love that. Yes. So
be bold.
Awesome.
I know.
Tea life.
Yeah.
Well,
Queen Mom.
Be like
love you some matcha.
That's one of my favorite cups.
So my thing is, find your passion. If you're not sure what your passion is, maybe ask your friend. Maybe they already saw like something in you and go, I think this is your passion. And then maybe just do some research, try a lot of things, because you're not going to find it the first time, and it's the best way to go.
Yeah. Try a lot of things. I love it. All right. So until next time, we ask, what's your passion? Yeah. Put it down below. Let us know what that is. Yeah. Send us a message. Tell us on our website. Let us know some things that you want us to talk about in the future, and go over on Instagram and follow us. So, all right. Have a fabulous week.